Ceiling fan blowing cold breeze on your body. I can't tell you really what it is, but you got it. Makeup in the morning, you got dresses in your closet, but you grab them tight, you in love with being modest. You a more body giving centrifuges. I'm just saying I'm amused, but you ain't even flexing. And you cool, tatted up, cover wounds, different vibe, you new improved, but you ain't even flexing. And you ain't gotta try too hard. Number one fan, your side applaud. Let me think about inside the walls. Words cut deep, it's like a swamp. Making me better, you hotter than pepper. You with a big stepper who chasing a cheddar. All of these women, they not on your level. You like a mix of business and pleasure. You a more body giving centrifuges. I'm just saying I'm amused, but you ain't even flexing. And you cool, tatted up, cover warm, different vibe, you new improved, but you ain't even flexing. 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 But you ain't even flexing.
Hello, hello, hello. It's me again. Doing another one. This is Real Talk with Amira. Took a little break, y'all. Been on a little vacation. I had said I was going to change my days, but I don't think those days wanted to work with me, so I'm going to go back to my regular days, Tuesday and Thursday. But yes, doing another one. I hope everybody is just starting to think. You know, I know everybody's not doing well all the time. A lot of things going on. Just a lot of I know one of my cousins passed away a couple weeks ago. Young. Today I found out another childhood family friend, her son, passed away in his sleep. She's my age, a little younger. But, you know, life is, and, you know, life can be just a moment. We got to start appreciating life more, praying for people more, being more aware of what's really going on with people. You know, and I found that out this morning. And went to the store today to grab a couple things to cook for dinner. And someone had got hit by a car getting off the bus. That, you know, just listening to people speak about it. They said, you know, they got off the bus, didn't even look. You know, you think people are going to be concerned for you, slow down, let you walk across the street. It may not happen. So we all got to start to wake up. You know, here today, gone tomorrow. That's for all of us. You know, some of us don't really appreciate life. We out here doing this, doing that. Want to live, kinda, but we out here making these bad choices. So just start to think. But yes, y'all, doing another one. And I had came up with this topic probably a week or two ago. I had a topic, just haven't really been in the mood, felt like it. I'm not sure, but today's topic is affirmative action. And of course, I heard this on the radio. I've been listening to a different station. What is it? 103.7. On the way to work, on the way home, while I'm in the car. And they actually spoke about this. Of course, I didn't know what was going on. And then today, when I went to the grocery store, I actually seen an article, a newspaper about it. The Voice, Kansas City, Missouri, I believe, Kansas City, Missouri paper, Wichita, Kansas. That's where it's out of. And it says wiping out affirmative action, and it has a cartoon character of Clarence Thomas on it. I'm gonna take a picture and post that in my YouTube video. But that is something that recently happened. Supreme Court rulings make me fear. What more? And this says Benita Gooch, editor-in-chief of The Voice. She has an article on the Supreme Court's ruling. And I had actually spoke about this to keep them anonymous, a teenager in my life, and we spoke on it, and she was supposed to do the podcast with me last week, but I really wasn't feeling it, and just didn't feel like doing it that day. But I'm gonna try to have them do it with me when they are available again. But let's talk a little bit about affirmative action. And this is another article I found online. The Congressional Black Caucus Foundation expresses deep concern on the ruling on affirmative action. And it says, Washington, D.C. Today, the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation expresses deep concern and profound disappointment in the United States Supreme Court's decision to end affirmative action as we know it in the college admissions process. This decision overturns years of precedent and undermines decades of progress made towards achieving racial equality, equity, and promoting diversity in our educational institutions, a core part of CBCF's mission. And as I heard the people speak on the radio station, they were actually a proponent of this affirmative action being nullified and voided. And of course, these were white Americans who the radio station I've been listening to lately, just to see what's going on, seeing different perspectives. But affirmative action has been a critical tool in addressing historical injustices and systematic barriers faced by underrepresented communities, particularly Black Americans. It has provided a pathway for equal access to education and employment opportunities that were previously denied due to discrimination and prejudice. By dismantling affirmative action policies, we risk eroding the progress we have made towards creating a more inclusive and equitable society. And my thing is about affirmative action. I think I still remember this conversation that I had in a class. I wish I would remember my math teacher's name, but I can't remember it. But he used to speak on current events. We would have conversations, and I love teachers like that because they make you think. They're discussing things that are relevant to you. But we talked about affirmative action back then, and he was a proponent of not having affirmative action. And my simple comment on affirmative action is, will you do what you're not forced to do? And I think I gave an example of, washing dishes. Kids, nobody wants to wash dishes in my house. Absolutely not. They don't. But if no one is making you do something, will you do it? And that is what this, at the basis and the roots of it is. Will people do what they should do when they're not forced to do it? And I think we all, people who are realistic and not delusional, know the answer to that. No. And as I am understanding, still, like I said, I'm still learning about life, about people, about just a lot of different things. Everyone's not the same. And we always want to make these blanket statements, these blanket analysis of, everybody's going to act like this. Everybody's going to respond like this. Everybody's going to do this. That's stupid. And look, I used to be like, well, shit, if I'm doing this, why can't everybody do it? If I'm able to get up and do what I need to do, why can't everybody else do it? I used to think like that. Now I understand. No, we're not the same. Everybody doesn't have the same upbringing, the same spirit, the same character, morals, values. Everybody's not the same. Some people grew up in horrible conditions, tragedy, trauma. I didn't. We're not going to be capable of doing the same things, probably, more than likely. Some people are racist. Some people grew up in racist families and they took part in it. They didn't try to stray away from it. That's who they are. That's who they want to be. And that person may be in the admission office in a college. That person may be a boss, the hiring manager at a company, at a corporation. So what's going to happen? And it's really that simple. And I do understand that, these days we have a lot of data. We push all these data through computers and machines and we come up with these statistics and stuff. So even after this decision, a lot of black people, I'm sure already know, this might sit temporarily, but then we're going to see the data. Let's look at the data. What's going on a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Let's see what's going on. Oh, it didn't work. Because you can't control everyone. You can't control. A lot of things are based on someone's approval. And I really think a lot of things should be like, let's put this in the computer and let the computer make the decision. No, let's keep people. What is it? Artificial intelligence. Let artificial intelligence make the decision. And can artificial intelligence be racist? Who knows? I don't know. But let me read a little bit of this article from The Voice. It says, the Supreme Court's ruling banning race as a consideration in college admissions overturns long-standing precedent that has benefited Black and Latino students in higher education. Of course, I can't help but see the ruling banning race as a consideration in college admissions as a tragedy for all Americans. However, the court's most recent rulings have me downright fearful about what legal precedents this obviously political leaning court might overturn next. And when we talk about, affirmative action, minorities, and a lot of times I think, people get in this uproar, minorities, women, white, which includes white women, not just black folks, other minorities. We chop off our own heads thinking we're doing something, but we're really cutting our own roots. We're chopping off our own heads. So this decision, affirmative action, women have always been discriminated against. We couldn't vote. Go get your ass in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant, and you don't need to go to college. You don't need an education. So affirmative action has not just included Black Americans, which in a lot of predominantly white colleges, we're still a minority. So what do you think we're going to be now? We're not going to be there. And it's just, that people are not going to do what they're not required to do. Look at relationships. I know sometimes I have heard, now I've never been married before, but I've definitely heard people complain about their husbands or their significant others. You ask them to do something, months later, it's not done. So, months later, it's not going to be done. And I believe this decision, or this was promoted or taken to court by Asian or Oriental Asian Americans. And I do believe it's gonna bite them in the ass, because and I don't understand, the allure of wanting to go to American colleges. A lot of college, unless you're going for a specific career, you can do those things outside of college. But I definitely think this is going to bite some people in their ass. And those people who are, oh yeah, we're glad. Black people don't, we're letting, I do believe I heard some that Black people's scores or test scores may not be as high as some other groups, and they're still getting into college and let in. But you know what? Black people don't get the same education as other groups. If you just go to community schools and look at the education they get, it's not the same. But you want us to be treated the same to get into college. So again, we need to go back to the root of things. A lot of things we're not going to the root. But I think this is definitely going to expose a lot of things that everybody wants to, oh, good, black people, they can't get over on us. They already the minority. They already are the minority in colleges. They're not as smart. They do blah, 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 whatever. We don't get the same education. We don't get the same schools. Go look at a white school and go look at a black school. A predominantly white school and a predominantly black school. Are they equal? Why are they not equal? Let's start there. And again, I think this is going to expose a lot of things. So it may not be, sometimes what we think bad is meant for our bad is meant for our good. So I definitely do think that. A little bit more of this article, as Justice Brown Jackson wrote in her, these words are small, searing dissent with this ruling, the court's majority pulls the ripcord and announces color blindness for all by legal fiat, but deeming race irrelevant in law does not make it so in life. And that's just what I said. We're still not on equal ground. And again, this will make the black culture, black community. Okay, we're gonna have to do some things different. Maybe we need to start our own colleges. Maybe we need to educate our children better and more. Because a lot of the schools I see in my community, they crap. They're shit. I wouldn't want my kids to go to any of these schools. I don't even see how they could go to some of these schools and get to college and really be capable of performing well at college. Now, my youngest daughter, she's very intelligent, and she's went to a charter school, EMKS, UN Marion Coffin School, and they teach different. They expect different, especially when she first started. They have laxed some of their rules since COVID, and I wish they hadn't, because you need to stay on your kids. But if she went to any other school, I don't know how well she would have done, but she's been pushed, she's been structured. They want to make sure you get to college, so there's an objective and an end goal for them. But affirmative action, why did affirmative action get started to begin with? Affirmative action has been a critical tool in addressing historical injustices and systematic barriers faced by underrepresented communities, particularly Black Americans. It has provided a pathway for equal access to education and employment opportunities that were previously denied due to discrimination and prejudice. And people think that discrimination and prejudice has just vanished. Whoop, ghost gone. I don't understand that. It's still here. The data is there. If you go study it in the correct way, the data is there. By dismantling affirmative action policies, we risk eroding the progress we have made towards creating a more inclusive and equitable society. And the society is not equitable. Black people, the majority of Black people, are still on the bottom. The top is white and I don't know, other races, but there are whites that are on the bottom too with Blacks. But why? I don't particularly understand all of that. Take advantage of your whiteness. The CBCF firmly believes that diversity in our educational institutions and workplaces is not only a moral imperative, but also a vital component of a thriving democracy. Race-conscious admissions policies have been instrumental in fostering diverse learning environments, and producing invaluable educational benefits in all students, demonstrated by decades of research, data. We're going to see the data after this, which the Supreme Court disregards. We're not going to look at the data. We're just going to make a decision. Racially diverse campuses enrich educational experiences and outcomes, increase and improve civic engagement, and better prepare students to navigate an increasingly diverse workforce. CBCF, through our Leadership Institute, has robust internship, fellowship, and scholarship programs because we believe the same. Today's decision ensures that opportunities for future leaders who are yet to be known have been severely diminished. And it's not about the feel good and we all equal, and we're not all equal. We're equal in God's eyes, in our abilities, but equal in the places we go, the jobs we go to, the schools we go to. Can we get approved for this loan, this mortgage? We're not equal, and things have been proven, and the data is there. So you know what, and this decision, I'm not even concerned or worried about it, because the data is going to prove, it might take a year or two, that wrong decision. And minorities are not just black people. We have women, other cultures, Mexican, Hispanic, Asians. They're a minority in America. Do you cut off your own hand to prove a point? And I definitely think that, in our history, and you think you're doing something, trying to prove a point, and it comes back on you. But yes, y'all, this was my podcast on affirmative action. I think I will try to have the teenager that wanted to do it with me, when they're available, do it with me. But yes, y'all, start thinking, start just enjoying your life, enjoying the people around you, because life is fleeting. I've seen it. You can be here today, gone tomorrow. Enjoy the people that love you and honor you. Let those people out of your life go that don't. Change. It's okay to do something different. Always do something different. Do something that's going to make you happy, that's going to benefit you, that's good energy. Let go of the past and all that BS, that bullshit. Let that shit go. But yeah, y'all, this has been my podcast on affirmative action, the Supreme Court rulings. Go take a look at it, because it can affect you. And once they start this somewhere else, other things are gonna come in with it. But again, the data is gonna show there are people who are always gonna be racist, who are working in colleges, who are working in corporations and businesses. And how do you get rid of those? You can't get rid of all of them. So I definitely think this will change back at some point. It may take a while, but this has been my Real Talk with the Mirror podcast. Everyone have a lovely night. Peace.